Hi guys. This morning I wanted to share with you a letter. I get lots of emails from people, mostly asking questions and asking me to do some research for them. And every once in a while I just get a really, really nice email, and really the email isn't even about me, it's about the person. And it's Janet in Sacramento, and I want to thank her for letting me read this, because it explains how important your health is and how important what you put in your body is. She says, "Hi Lisa, I wanted to tell you that I love your blog. You have a lot of great resources and information on there that I have found useful this past 6 months. Last summer I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and what triggered it was the stress of my divorce. I was the one getting all bent out of shape when my ex was actually doing the right thing." That's funny. "I was just pissed and let it fester in my mind and eventually my body. I love to run, have since I was a kid, and my mom always made me eat something before I could go run. I didn't know then, but she was teaching me something very important. As I got older, it slacked off and I started running without eating, and then afterwards was not hungry, so I would just grab coffee and a slice of toast, which was, in my mind, enough to sustain me until lunch. Lunch was a salad. That's it. And dinner was fish and veggies. That's it. Rarely did I eat fruit or even snacks, so in a sense, I was starving my body. After my divorce, I stopped thinking about food and started eating, but the wrong kinds of food. Fried, processed, sugared, you name it, I ate it. 2 months later, I was 40 pounds overweight and miserable. That is when I woke up unable to move. I was scared, to say the least. And when I was diagnosed, I was told there was no cure, just meds to take, which I took in the beginning because I couldn't think clearly. Once my head got clear, I went to a therapist to help me over my divorce. Instead, she showed me I was killing myself by the way I ate and the lifestyle I was living. More exercise than food consumption, then no exercise and massive food consumption. Once I finally figured out it was food, and then I needed to learn more about food, I came across your site and many others who are teaching similar principles. Today I am pain-free, off my meds for over a month now, and feeling better than I think I ever have. I just wanted to say thank you for one thing. Your idea of a green smoothie upon waking," and she's quoting me, "because I am not a breakfast person," helped me a lot. It was that aha moment. It was that one thing I could do even if I didn't do anything else. So if I could tell anyone to do just one thing to help themselves, that would be it. It showed me the way to a healthier lifestyle, and I just wanted to say thank you. And God bless you. And I want to stress that you're very lucky that you had one episode and you were diagnosed. That is rare. But it just shows that out there in our medical world, doctors are starting to recognize the symptoms. For me, I went 30 years without a diagnosis for lupus, but my flares were very far apart. Years would go by before I would have another flare. So in the doctor's defense, how can they treat something if it's not consistent? They're not seeing it all the time. And fibromyalgia, the symptoms are very similar in the achiness and the lethargia and all of that is with lupus. So, and I know from other people with autoimmune diseases, they get misdiagnosed all the time. I have been so misdiagnosed. The first diagnosis I had was 10 years ago, and it was chronic fatigue. And I think, first it was the flu. I was coming down with the flu, and then I never got the flu. So then, 3 months later, it's like, oh, you have fibromyalgia, or you have chronic fatigue. And then when that didn't stick, then they wanted to give me fibromyalgia. And then when that didn't stick, and all of a sudden, actually 6 months after my flare, the symptoms went away. So it was kind of like, this is how a doctor works. If I can't see it, I can't fix it. If I can't see it, I don't know what's going on with you. So then I had to wait. And a couple of years went by before I had the next flare. And of course, for me, stress caused them all. But the funny thing with me is, I did not have the flare when the stress was happening. I had the flare when the stress was passing. And I think it was passing, like happening, but it still stayed in my head. It was still this emotional nightmare for me. And I think that is what broke down my resistance and allowed my body to flare. And I just had to share that letter because I love it, because it explains a lot of things. She was starving her body for years. And all of a sudden she had this most, divorce, death, moving even, losing your job. Those are like huge, huge, huge stressful situations in your life. And they are major triggers for any kind of autoimmune disease flare. And I love her letter because it shows that she wasn't taking care of herself. And God bless that therapist who helped her see what she really needed to see. Because I'm sure there's some out there who wouldn't have put 2 and 2 together and figured that out. So, but that's it. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm not saying raw foods cures everything. I'm saying it can help you find your way to wellness. And not just raw foods, but nutrition, vital nutrients that you need. They could really help you heal your body and keep your body moving forward. When you eat junk, when you eat the American Standard Diet, it's a Standard American Diet. They call it SAD for a reason. You're not getting enough. Actually, you're getting too much of some things and not enough of others. The pyramid is like totally half-assed backwards, pardon my French. Like the bottom big layer, I think is like carbs or something, and it should actually be vegetables, like vegetables, fruits, nuts, and then your like meats and whatever else you want to put up there. Grains, okay, yeah, grains should probably be around where the nuts are. But I would love to like refabricate that. And actually, one thing I do want to mention, for those of you who don't know, on Dr. Andrew Weil's website, and the link is on my blog, and I'll put it down below in the comments section so you guys have it. He has a anti-inflammatory diet. It's not like a list of foods you don't eat and a list of foods you do eat. It's literally a way to eat, kind of like a macrobiotic diet. It's kind of a lifestyle thing. And when I was first diagnosed with lupus, that's the first thing I did. I went on that diet, and then I just took tons of supplements that, for things that my body was lacking. And I did. I went into remission. I think it took me like maybe 6 weeks to go into remission. And I stayed there for 4 months, which I know that doesn't sound like a long time to people, but it was a long time for me. It was good. But I learned so much about that, about food. And so if you're going to start anywhere, I suggest you start there. Learn about inflammation. There are foods that inflame. There are acidic foods that inflame the body. So learn about those things. Whether you have lupus, fibromyalgia, cancer. These are all things that your body's inflamed. I'm not saying it's going to reverse everything and take, the cancer cells away. But it can help you heal the body while you're doing whatever it is over here medically that you need to do to heal your body. Healing is a multidimensional task. You don't do it one way. You don't just do it from raw foods. You don't just do it from seeing a therapist. You don't just do it from having chemotherapy. It's a mind-body experience. And that's why like Dr. Weil, he's the professor of integrative medicine at the University of Phoenix. He's like the first in his field to have an integrated medicine program in a university that doctors are actually graduating from. And I like that. I like how he takes the mind-body experience and puts it together. He treats you as a whole person.